Right now at 6, fired federal workers air their frustrations.
I am not a waste of money. My fellow employees and veterans are not wastes of money.
Plus, heavy rain slams southern Oregon, triggering landslides and flooding rivers and streams.
And I've talked to numerous people who lived here their whole lives, and they have not seen that level of flooding.
Then, we're tracking the impact of President Trump's tariffs and immigration policies when it comes to building new homes.
If you don't have the workers, the project is going to take longer. You're going to be paying more for overtime for the workers that you do have.
And later in sports, let the madness begin. Art is previewing the first round matchups for the Ducks and Beavers in the NCAA tournament. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko. We begin tonight with frustration from fired federal workers after dozens attended a town hall to ask some of Oregon's congressional delegation what it plans to do to help.
Our Devin Haskins is live outside the federal building in Northeast Portland. Devin, what did you hear from the federal workers today?
Well, David and Christine, a lot of anger and frustration coming from those workers after being fired, but also confusion and uncertainty for what their futures hold.
It is hard to imagine all of the challenges you all are going through right now.
In a room full of fired federal workers.
To be frank, I won't seek federal service again during this administration. And that makes me really sad.
Feelings of frustration and betrayal.
I am not a waste of money. My fellow employees and veterans are not wastes of money.
Sean McMurtry works for the Department of Agriculture.
On behalf of myself and other federal employees, many of whom are unable to openly speak at this time due to fear of retaliation or the risk of losing their jobs, I'd like to say that this cruel and unusual treatment of our public servants will not be tolerated.
In the last several weeks, thousands of federal employees have been let go as part of a large-scale workforce reduction.
I want to know, what are you doing to leverage the powers that we have as Democrats right now? What are you doing to leverage the power of the people?
I'm not going to say, yes, we're going to save everyone's jobs, because I'm not going to lie to you, because I respect you enough not to lie to you. We are in the minority.
Oregon joined other state attorneys general in a lawsuit to put an end to the mass firings.
I think in the role of Attorney General, one of the important things that you do, especially over the last 2 months, is make sure that the presidential administration is following our Constitution, following our federal laws.
And with the mass firings, many attending today worry about the lasting impact just as much as the immediate impacts.
We are eroding trust in our federal work opportunities in a way that is going to have generational impacts.
Oregon's delegation said they'd continue to fight for those fired federal workers, but also admitted that because they're in the minority as Democrats, there is a limited amount to what they can do. Back to you.
As you said earlier, a lot of uncertainty. Appreciate your reporting, Devin.
In your headlines, Portland police have just arrested a man they say shot and killed a woman overnight in the Centennial neighborhood. This was reported shortly after midnight on Southeast Harrison near 143rd. The suspect, Joshua Thielbar, is in jail charged with second-degree murder. Police have not yet released the victim's name.
In Vancouver, a man is in jail facing attempted murder charges after a shooting late last night. Police found a man who'd been shot multiple times on Northeast 49th Street near 112th. He was taken to the hospital in serious but stable condition. The suspect, Misael Dominguez Nayon, was found at his apartment nearby and surrendered to police. Officers found several guns, including the handgun they say Dominguez Nayon used in the shooting.
In Washington County, the sheriff is asking for help identifying a man who robbed a pizza place at gunpoint. This was just before 9 last night at the Godfather's Pizza on Farmington Road in Aloha. This photo was taken from surveillance video. Officers say they also used a drone and canine to search the area, but could not find this suspect. If you recognize the man in this image, please call the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
One person was hurt in a house fire in Portland's Hazelwood neighborhood this morning. It happened just after 9:30 near Southeast 106th and Stark. Two construction workers across the street noticed smoke coming from the roof. They rescued a person and a dog from the home before fire crews got there. The person was taken to the hospital in stable condition. The dog should be okay. Firefighters kept the flames from spreading to the rest of the home. No word yet on the cause.
And for the second time in a month, Bend's skiing community is mourning a well-known skier killed in an avalanche. 50-year-old Brian Thomas Roberts was backcountry skiing with a group Thursday afternoon on Mount Bailey, that is in southern Oregon there, when they were caught in an avalanche. Another person was injured, and Roberts did not survive. Roberts was a former World Cup ski racer and a longtime instructor at Mount Bachelor. He leaves behind a wife and young daughter. His death comes a few weeks after 2 others from Bend were killed in an avalanche while backcountry skiing in Deschutes County. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, we have had so much snow in the Cascades over the last several days that avalanches are almost a certainty because of the weighting and the loading that snow puts on slopes. Timberline, okay, here's Timberline for you. It's 27 inches just in the last 3 days, and that's one of the lower amounts around the Oregon Cascades. The Central and Southern Oregon Cascades down around Mount Bailey. I've skied that mountain. It's great, but of course you're in the backcountry, so it can be dangerous. But Mount Bachelor, look at this, 61 inches in the last 7 days. Willamette Pass, 52 inches in the last 7 days, and about 3 feet this weekend. Because I was there, I can tell you it was coming down super hard. Mount Hood, as we mentioned, 27 inches just in the last 3 days. It's been impressive. Now, what's up next? Well, we get some breaks. Things are calming down a little bit right now, tonight and tomorrow, but more heavy mountain snow comes our way Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday. We're talking feet yet again. So we're not quite done with this. Even as we transition into spring early on Thursday morning, there will be more snow coming to the Cascades, which of course is not that unusual. So with all the rain that we've had, flood warnings are still up for the Rogue River from Agnes down to Gold Beach, and for the Coquille River as it heads out to sea at Bandon. The flood warning, though, some good news for the Umpqua River, has been allowed to expire. So we're doing a little bit better down there, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt. And speaking of all this weather that's rolled in developing tonight, heavy rain in southern Oregon has caused serious flooding that has now turned deadly. Floodwaters in Central Point near Medford swept a woman away.
And in Douglas County, as Matt mentioned, several rivers and streams overran their banks, flooding the town of Drain. Our Daisy Caballero went there to talk with residents as the cleanup got underway.
Thankfully, the water levels have really started to go down. Just take a look for yourself. Locals here tell me that the river levels are still anywhere between 15 to 20 feet above where they should be, but still a completely different story than just 24 hours ago.
That's Mother Nature, and she can treat you good or she can treat you bad, and real quick.
The tight-knit community of Drain is reeling from this weekend's heavy rainfall that caused massive flooding throughout their area, damaging the outside and inside of their homes and businesses.
I fell in the water trying to get my sled out, and it just showed me how quick you could feel the cold of the water, yeah.
Roy Wirtz's family has lived here since the 1970s, saying they've seen their fair share of flooding, but this one was one they won't forget. As over 1.5 feet of water got into their home, his daughter sharing this video with us.
First it started bubbling up through the floor, bathroom. It comes into the sewer system and then it works its way out.
The rain also caused massive landslides like this one off Highway 138 West, closing it down until further notice.
That's about 8 miles from Elkton, between Elkton and Sutherland.
Robin Losnack is with the Kellogg Rural Fire District. He shot this drone video as trees tumbled down to the highway.
I radioed then into dispatch, got out of my truck, and shortly after, more debris started coming down the hill. And it kept coming.
And Governor Tina Kotek says the state is ready to jump in to help everyone affected.
We were letting the locals lead if they need equipment or resources. Right now we're hearing as soon as the water resides, we're going to need your help for the cleanup and other things, and we'll be there for them.
But several businesses like the Drain Saw Shop have started the cleanup recovery on Monday, telling us they've been here before and know what to do. And for neighbors fairly new to the area, like Matthew Spurlock, they're quickly learning about the flooding possibility in town.
It was pretty, just like unsurreal almost. Like it was almost like it wasn't happening, but you knew it was because you're seeing it. So again, this was my first flood I've ever experienced. So it was really took me by surprise.
Now, I also spoke to the local fire chief, and he tells me they made about 15 different home rescues throughout this event, mainly here in Drain. And as of now, no injuries have been reported. In Drain, Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
Well, back in Portland, police stepped up patrols over this St. Patrick's Day weekend. They say just through Saturday night, They made 260 traffic stops, issued 172 citations, and arrested 11 people. Police say most of the arrests were impaired drivers, and many of the tickets were for speeding. Heads up, the increased patrols continue tonight for the actual St. Patrick's Day holiday. Police say if you're celebrating, make sure to have a designated driver, use mass transit, or get a taxi for a safe ride home.